Hi, I'm Lynn Kirkham and I've been an artist and basket maker for about 30 years now. I was brought up in the UK and I gave the first part of my adult life working with horses, and I worked with competition horses, and by the age of about 25 I'd started to get very disillusioned with that. So I went back to college to study something more creative. And at the time I was living in London and I was feeling very starved of nature, having been outdoors all my life, really. And so I was really missing the country life, and I discovered basket making, and that you could gather materials and willows and other natural materials in nature and from the hedgerows and in the wild. So that was the first thing that attracted me to basketry, and I ended up going back to college and studying basketry and creative crafts at the London Guildhall University and actually getting a qualification in that. One good thing about living in the city was there was brilliant adult education classes at the time, and I was studying sculpture through adult education. And very quickly I started experimenting and mixing the basketry materials with the sculpture techniques, so making more creative stuff. And I had great teachers at the time. Some of the basketry course was facilitated by some of the sort of leaders in the different fields of willow or rush, or the different weaving methods that we were learning. So I had great teachers at the time. And I've also continued to develop my skills over the years and gone to different classes, and I was also developing my skills with different materials like metal and bogwoods and casting in bronze and those kinds of things. I've also been really lucky to get some training bursaries, and I was able to visit places like the Polish Basketry School and Villebregue, which is a basketry community in France. And more recently I got funding from the Tipperary County Council to go to Leitrim Sculpture Centre to learn some metalwork skills. I think upgrading my skills and always developing new skills and sharing skills is really, really important part of my work, and it's what keeps it interesting for me. I came to live in Ireland in 1995 with my then partner, and we were lucky to buy a derelict cottage for very little money at the time, on an acre of land, and really spent a lot of years renovating the cottage, building workshops, making gardens, doing all that, and also making our art and our basketry and community projects and school projects and lots of classes, and using mostly willow in those days, but mixed with other materials like metal and other natural materials as needed. Now I still live at the Green Mantle cottage in Tipperary, and I have a menagerie of animals: dogs, cats, horses. And I grow willow, I grow other materials, I grow food, and I grow herbs, and I grow healing plants. And I still really like to share my skills, and not just me creative skills, but life skills too, important skills like gathering wood and baking bread and working with animals and those kinds of things. So I run classes here one-to-one, and I also run small group classes. And I also take artists and performers and other people who want to come for a quiet retreat and use the space to do their own creative projects. Over the last 10 years, I've really been working on making larger scale public sculptures, and I've had some great commissions, so I've been really very lucky, and I've taken the opportunities as they've arisen. And I've explored lots of different materials through making the public art, and some of my public sculptures would be very popular. The Finn McCool up in Newbridge, and the Ghost Horses in Kildare, they were commissioned by Kildare County Council, and they're really popular pieces. And there's also some cows near Fermoy made out of bogwood and steel, and they're very popular. And there's a piece in Kenmare, a bronze piece, celebrating the lace industry of Kenmare, and that's down by the pier in Kenmare, and that's another really, really popular piece. So I've been very lucky to get those commissions, and all of my public art is designed site specifically and working to a brief and to a budget. So I like to research the local folklore and the mythology and the history of the area and base the sculptures on those things. I also like to include animals in the work, especially horses. So horses still are my number one passion. Between the commissions, bigger commissions are few and far between, so I'm still making the baskets and different basket structures for gardens and the occasional sculpture, and I'm also working on some smaller pieces of my own that I'm hoping to cast into bronze and have an exhibition at some point. If anyone wants to commission a piece of work, or if anyone's interested in coming for a retreat or a class, do get in touch, and also I'm open to visits and children's projects and birthday parties and those things, but by arrangement please, and I hope you enjoy the work. Thank you very much.